Before we essentially start our discussion, would love to understand how has your experience been with LeadSquad Ace goals?
So the experience has been very good. I have been connected to you guys for a longer time now. It's been one month or 1.5 months, and it's pretty going pretty smooth. I'm like using it with the team. A lot of people from my team have started using it. You talk about time saving. You talk about all the like work we had to do before this. Like we have partially reduced that time. We have improved the productivities on that basis. And be it like whatever we are handling, be it the talk times of the people who are reporting to us, be it the FOS sessions or whatever you work on basically as per the telling calling part. So that has essentially improved a lot. So what I would rate, like what I would suggest in one word is like it's been a totally time saving experience for me, as it was a hectic day before this where I used to like work and run reports for half of an hour, and now I'm able to do it in 5 minutes by just a click and all. So that is a great achievement for me, saving my time out there.
So glad to hear that, Kartik. Really appreciate your kind words. Gaurav, Suraj, would you like to share your experience?
I mean, before we open up possibly more precise questions, I think this ACE product in itself, right? I think certainly one for the future. I think this is a word I've told umpteen number of times to Siddharth. One for the future, because moving away from a lot of Google Sheets, manual tracking, and again, it's a very person-dependent thing, right? It's as much as like I think Kartik just mentioned that he was having a hectic time, right? It's a very person-dependent. If he decides to take a week off, I mean, things are going to go for a toss, right? And that's where we're trying to move that sort of away and let things sort of run by itself, and people can start evaluating, right? And that's where I think this sort of takes the route, right? And yeah, I think so far so good. I'm happy to be part of the beta phase. Yeah, I mean, a lot of ups and downs and learnings, right? I think that's more important. And honestly, I think that wouldn't have happened without people like Siddharth, who was really in close touch with me in this phase, where constant reiteration, coming ahead and driving timelines, right? Because driving timelines in a startup is very tough. Be it LeadSquared, be it another startup, even including ours, right? So a lot of time we face that issue, and having that person who plays as an enabler only gets things better. So I mean, thanks all in all.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Suraj. I think that means a lot to me. But yeah, we are more than happy to actually get that feedback around the product as well, right? So we understand how technology drives things these days, right? I mean, all those Excel sheets and all, right? They've been pretty old solution, right? All that stuff is going to go away, right? So yeah, I mean, definitely we are evolving, right? As you said that you've been a beta partner, right? And as we evolve, we are going to get more features, right? And improve more things on the lines that you've suggested. So yeah, that channel is on. That channel is on, right? Yeah. Thanks for the feedback again. Yeah.
Love to hear from Gaurav. One of our most, I would rather say, I mean, I would say this in a very positive manner, but very, very critical user, and gives us a lot of critical feedback and also helps us improve a lot. So I think, Gaurav, first of all, thank you for constantly helping us out. And whenever we reach out, there's a feedback from your side from your experience and all of those things. And he has also helped us in analyzing some other products as well. So please, Gaurav, over to you. Help us understand your experience.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Siddharth. Thanks, Suraj. Thanks, Kartik. I mean, I have been listening to all of you, and I think Suraj and Kartik almost cover 90% of pain point which you guys are trying to solve, right? And I need to say, as an organization and as an individual, we are very hard to impress. I mean, you launch a beta product and you say something we are trying to solve, and that's the one part of the problem. But then when Siddharth came and told so ideally with us, it started like way back 6 months back, I was looking for some other vendors who will solve my pain point as a gamification product. And somehow there were no name of LeadSquared in that Excel sheet. But then we thought let's ask. And then Siddharth told we are doing something like that. Would you like to see the demo? And then the conversation went on, and he told us to give us a chance and all. So we saw it is covering a part of problem. It is solving some part of problem. And we were glad, our in-house CRM partner is doing this, so why to go outside when we are getting everything here inbuilt? Because moving from a one software to other software, it's itself a pain point, right? So then we started working with Siddharth. Siddharth shows us the demos, and like we are on track. All I can say, what we are trying to build is definitely going to be a part of a sales future. Like be it any organization, it is very important to gamify the entire sales process, right? And it will help. Eventually, it is going to be a great motivation for the sales team, business development team, and I think we are on track. And like we have almost covered 25 to 30%, and everything is in pipeline. So great to see Abhishek and Siddharth. A lot of things are going to come up, and I think LeadSquared is going to lead this actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll lead this and we'll ace this both.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So actually, to continue with the same conversation, right, Gaurav, and I'll ask the same question to Sooraj and Kartik also. So first, so Gaurav, I think this question would not just help us to understand what is your perspective on this, but also folks who are from other edtech companies, right? I wanted to understand, like, what do you think would be, if you have to call out 3 critical metrics, right, on which you think that objectives or goals has to be set, right? Without that, maybe an edtech organization at least, right? They would essentially not be able to operate at an efficient level, or maybe the business essentially would have some challenges to meet their objective at an organization level, right? So if you had to name or pick top 3 goals or top 3 objectives, maybe for an edtech, right? Yeah.
Fair question, Abhishek. I mean, like, and as an edtech company, particularly, we have, if you ask anyone, he'll say, I have 1,000 of things to track, right? But then at the same time, you have to optimize your tracking, right? So like as a company, we always divide this into input and output metrics. And for us to drive that particular sales engine, it is very important. So if I have to choose any 3 metrics, particularly from my point of view, or from an org point of view, we'll have a top of the funnel. We want to see the number of leads like a particular person is getting, right? Then like what once it is assigned to a particular person or particular salesperson, or let's say particular team, or a particular team, how they are going to manage it. So critically, the talk time is one of the strongest metrics which we see, right? And the third is also, especially the output, is revenue. I mean, like, ultimately in sales, numbers matter, right? So it's kind of a principally aligned to the input. So if your input is good, output is going to reflect. And for these 3 metrics, you will absolutely need to track, and especially in the context of edtech. I mean, like, that seems very important. Though org by org it varies. I mean, like, definitely different team, different org have a different input metrics. But ideally, from the top to bottom of the funnel, this is something which we are looking into it.
I understand.
So I have a follow-up question on that. Sorry, Abhishek. Just one thing. So Gaurav, as you said, right, the track is right, and then you just explained a lot of metrics also that Unacademy is trying to maybe track. So how do you think this tool develop into maybe a single one-stop solution, right, for all the metrics that maybe you want to track right now? And also, will you also will it help you to find or explore more metrics, right, that you might track as well, right, or that we were not tracking earlier? Right? Could you comment on that as well?
No, absolutely, Siddharth. I mean, like, fair question, and I mean, like, it will give a wide opportunity to the audience present here also. So kind of when you say, I said 1 metrics to be tracked, I tell you why it is important for me in terms of your CRM, particularly LeadSquared. So, as in CRM, when I use a particular CRM, I have every data here, right? Right from what my salesperson is doing, right? Right from getting a prospect, to right from talking to him, right to marking the disposition, as well as final payment. Everything in activity it's pushed to the LeadSquared or particular CRM I am using. Now, if I don't have this particular product, let's say gamification, for example, here, right? And I want to have a particular metrics to see. So every time I have to go, I have to download it, right? I have to put it somewhere, maybe Google Sheet, Excel, or maybe let's say I am using other software, let's say, for example, where I can upload the CSV file. So it's kind of taking a lot of manual intervention, right? What is the best here? You have all the activity, you know the logic, right? If you see the demo Abhishek showed us, all you need to is write a simple logic. Lead activity is X, lead activity is Y, and give me all the results of all those metrics. So this eventually saves a lot of time. So to drive a sales engine efficiently, operation is one part, or a program or operation, whatever you say, it's very important that you automate those processes, right? So that is eventually helping me. And why it is helping me? Because every data is present in my particular CRM, and that CRM is giving me this solution, right? Second thing is there will be a lot of metrics, and how I see based on the decision I'm getting. Well, let's say I got okay, this particular person is giving me a talk time of this. Let's say example in talk time terms. Then I can see where there is a miss from their side, maybe in outbound or inbound, anything, or in a particular XYZ, the average of the call. So let's say what is the trend going on week, right? And can I drive some strategic decision out of this? Any metrics, input or output, which I'm tracking. So eventually this will help us rather than taking it manually, putting it somewhere else, then looking to make graphs, right? When you put on Google, it does not gives you a graph like you put the data, it will give you a graph. No, you have to select particular column and then you make a graph, right? If you have to put it in some software, it will also do the same. But why not do something which when we have an in-house CRM who is giving you all the solutions? So correct. I think that fairly answers your question.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Gaurav. And I think very interestingly, the input and the output part falls right on the bullseye. And in fact, we don't have that right now in the we didn't show that in the feature, but we used to call this efforts and results as well. Like when we begin our journey of building this product, so we used to call it efforts and results. So yeah, I think we are on the same page. Thanks again. So coming to Kartik and Sooraj, I think I would like to understand the same from upGrad. Okay, I don't see Kartik now, but okay. So from Twin Health's perspective, right, Sooraj, because this is a completely different industry now that you guys are working in. What would be some of the interesting metrics that essentially you track, which you think should be tracked, and also the ones that you track and do you think improves your business outcomes or business performance at the end of the day, revenue maybe, right?
Right. So Abhishek, so undoubtedly, right, I think for any telecalling sort of setup, number of calls is always a metric. Then the timeline in which, let's say, you call a new lead, right, that will always be two important things, whichever industry you're in. Apart from this, so this obviously are the two metrics that we also go by. That's the number of calls, then also the percentage of new leads. Apart from that, one important thing is the counselings. So Twin Health, we look into reversal of diabetes. Now, this would mean this is a very, it's a little different product possibly for Indians who do not really prioritize health, right? And that's where the counseling that we ideally call, which can be anything between 6 to 8 links in a given day, tracking this becomes a very important number, because this is also our pipeline so as to get sales, right? So it's a simple number. Let's say if somebody was doing 6 counseling, which is considered a good number across the week, obviously the next week this person would have a good output, which is conversions. Now when we see a 2 or 3 days break of this falling down, obviously the pipeline also gets hit, right? Which does not hit immediately, but possibly 2 to 3 days after that. And that's the day when you start looking at and you say that, hey, his inputs are good, but why was there no conversion? For that, you got to go to the past data. And that's one section where the gamification of, let's say, the ACE, right, where you can go ahead, you can go and easily toggle between which are the dates you want to select and what are the numbers across, right? That helps in there. And imagine the same thing just being done on a sheet, right? I mean, it just doesn't look good, because in a sheet, you look so it's not really impressive. So that's where this I think platform as such helps a lot. But yeah, these are the three main things that we look at, apart from also task adherence. So the number of tasks a person has for a given day, how much is the completion, etc. So these are the 4 core things that we look at. So counseling is one thing that we might sort of focus a lot on, because this is an important metric for us.
I mean, I think this is very, very insightful and interesting. Like when we started building this product, we never knew that there will be a slight way we could essentially impact people's health. And if in some or other way this tool is doing that, I think we'll be really, really happy about that. Thanks again, Sooraj, for those insights. coming to Kartik, right? I think though upGrad is also in the same edtech domain, but I think the businesses are very different, Kartik, right? So because I think when compared to Unacademy, at least for now. So would you like to comment on the kind of metrics essentially you track, which you think should be tracked by edtechs, and also which improves your business efficiency at the end of the day?
So Abhishek, I guess like Sooraj and Gaurav has already covered a lot of points. And if you talk about edtechs, you talk about a lot of input metrics. As Gaurav also suggested, like input is always output, like equal to the output. What we put out there, we get out there, right? So the metrics or what are the things that we track on a daily basis? And as I already told in the starting also, it has become like it was way hectic, and now it has become very easy for me also. And I've started pushing out to the team also. So on a daily basis, we track out on the talk times, we track out on the counseling calls, as Suraj also mentioned, because that is like where we get the results. And what I like the most about it is like on a daily basis, when like people are not that motivated to work, but still they see their goals for a daily basis, that this is what needs to be done today, or this is what needs to be achieved. And that numbers that we track, like on a daily basis, we are seeing that this is 40% is completed, and the person feels happy about that. I have completed this much of amount of my work for today, and this is what I need to complete out after that. That comes on a day-to-day basis, on a daily basis. In the morning, they are getting that, they're going on that sheet, they are checking it out. And it was very hectic to be tracked before this, where we were running it out on Google Sheets, or we were using Excel or spreadsheets to download the data first, do the hectic pivot tables and everything, and then show it to the team that this is how it is going on. The tracks, like if you talk about the tracks, like what motivates in sales is of course the number at the end of the day, right? And numbers coming in with the terms of talk time, or the numbers coming in terms of the outputs or the sale numbers, or like whatever the conversions we are getting, converting people from prospects and marking them out and getting them to the customer stages. That is what builds the motivation for the team also. And it, like, I totally work inside and out with that part, and this has completely improved in a lot of sense, tracking out the inputs to get the outputs in a line form, having it distributed to the whole team. I can assign the goals to the senior people on a longer basis, or like I can assign them leads, or like what can be the part where I can track that how much I need to assign, or how much I have assigned from the last week, and what has improved in that part. And Suraj, I like the point that Suraj mentioned. Basically, he told that the track, like we have been following up a track, and this is the counsel that we are getting from last 5 days, and this is the result that we have got. So after 2 days, if you're not getting the results, we have to dig out the past data. And the way you show it in the ACE, when you scroll it up, you can see the weekly performances, you can see the daily performances. So there we can pinpoint it to the people who are reporting to us that this is where the miss went, or this is where the thing went haywire. So that is what we can sort it out, and we can talk to them. And it's like, if you talk about edtech sectors, if you talk about the matrices, what we track, and it's going to be similar to all of us. Like everybody agrees to that. That is the talk time parts, or the counsel parts, or the video calls we are tracking right now, like FOS sessions and everything, what we do on a daily basis. So that is what is getting tracked. So upGrad currently is working on also the sales numbers and the revenue parts, where they're tracking it on a daily basis, like how much is coming in, how much like the people are contributing. And these goals are helping me recognize people a lot. I'll tell you that, because the people who are performing, I can see them on the top part. I can see them, I can recognize them to the organization also. I can recognize them in the team as well. And that motivates them a lot. So yeah. So that brings a lot of points into the picture.
I think you started with saying, Kartik, a lot of points have been already mentioned, but I think you touched upon some very interesting pieces, right? Talking about the motivation aspects, right? In fact, I was trying to just correlate like wearing a Fitbit, right? And it tells me that if I have set a target of 20,000 steps or 10,000 steps a day, right? Like I hardly ever complete, but the days when I have time, and if I see that I have completed 50% and there's some time that I can essentially spare, then I would try to at least cover those steps. So I think the same thing would work in a sales setup as well. right? So that was very interesting take, I would say, right? And the other aspect is also like that is for a sales user, and then similarly for the sales manager, being able to see the outperformers, being able to recognize the outperformers, and also working on the people who are not able to perform or who are lagging, right? That again is definitely one piece that we are trying to bring out through this product.
So I would like to add to this point also, like where I used to run sheets and everything, where I used to like download the data and like these are the people who have been top performing from last this 5 or 10 days. Now I can like see it on one page. I can share it to the team with a screenshot, and they are like happy to see it and happy to see the names coming on top. So that has also improved when you talk about motivational part there. So yeah.
Absolutely, Kartik. No, so I just wanted to add one more point, what exactly, I feel about motivation, because I know sales is all about motivation, right? I mean, when people are not motivated, I don't know, they're going to run for, whatever you want them to, right? I remember having a conversation with Gaurav, and he very straightforwardly brought this point up that, hey, can I sort this data percentage wise, right? Can I just see on this particular dashboard who are my top performers? I mean, I know how the team is performing, but can I see those top 3-4 performers? And Gaurav, if you remember, right, we were sorting on that dashboard, and I just showed you, right, percentage wise who are the top performers. So I think this is a very important point that you brought up, Kartik, and yeah, I mean, this is noted. We are still evolving on the same part, right? We are coming up with newer, better features, right, to highlight this as well. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So I think we are about the time of our webinar. Any closing thoughts, Gaurav, Sooraj, or Kartik, that you would like to add? Or any feature request also would be fine.
Yeah. Like I have put a lot of feature requests. So it's to Sooraj and Kartik to add feature request. I think I have already shared. But to all the people who have joined this webinar, I mean, like to be very frank, I mean, like LeadSquad is trying to literally solve one of the pain point for sales industry particularly, business industry particularly, or consumer segment. The fact is that we don't want to rely on 100 software to do our things. We want to rely on one single CRM who is going to help me with everything, be it a data presentation, be it a gamification, be it a motivational factor which come out of these gamification softwares. So I think on the right track, and all the feature request is already in pipeline, Abhishek and Siddharth. Hope to see that very soon.
Absolutely.
I was sure when I say feature request, I'll have someone to comment on that. That's right. But no, really appreciate your feedback, Gaurav. Really appreciate your points as well. Yeah,
I second that to all the points what Gaurav mentioned. Just adding on that, and one very important thing is that the more you keep things competitive, right, and that's where things work brilliant, right? And correct. This entire thing is, when we call gamification, that also says that who is 1, 2, 3, 4, and similarly bottom performers, right? So
yes.
Competition, building a skill around it, and super thought around starting off this product. But yeah, the game is not done till we're actually getting into that last stage, right? That is moving from the beta to the pro version, giving real time sort of updation. And I'm sure, I mean, we are reaching there. It's just in no time where it's grown so much, the product. Awesome, and keep going. I mean, we're looking forward to a lot more update very soon.
Thank you so much, Sooraj. And yeah, we know this is just day one. Just begin. Yes.
Yeah. So just as Sooraj mentioned, to like add to the points, I would like in sales you don't ever talk about the comfort, anything related to that. But I would like to talk about the comfort part there. That the comfort part is basically me opening up a LSQ, me opening up LeadSquared, and me like staying on that same page and getting everything done. That is the whole idea. It's not like me opening up 10 tabs and getting the same hectic schedule going on a daily basis. So that is what you guys are sorting out, and that has been great improvement to me and to my team as well. Like 150 plus people who have started using this, and they have started flowing out the way we used to handle things. We used to, but now we are handling it in a more appropriate way, I would say. And it was great, and glad to be the part of the beta team. And if you talk about the features, I'll stay connected to Siddharth about like keep calling him about the features to be updated, and surely will improve it on that part.
Sure, Kartik. Absolutely. That channel is always open. That's
yeah.
what yeah.
Thank you so much. I think all of us, all of our team today, I think they will have a good sleep. I think listening to all the great things that you guys have said. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for your time more than anything else. Yeah.